All right, traders, I'm going to be going over the top 3 option plays heading into this week. The green streak continues. I've been on a 4-day green streak. Ended up taking some time off from the videos to celebrate my birthday week last week in San Francisco. But with that being said, I'm also going to be recapping some of the scalps that I ended up doing today. The portfolio is up 2.47% on the day. Ended up making 6 or 7 scalps with 100% win rate. Very, very quick, in and out. Nice quick profits. Let's get straight into it. So what we're going to be going over is we're going to be doing an in-depth price action analysis on the SPY, going over the key make it or break it levels to be trading at into this week as of now. Make sure you're subscribed and like the video to stay up to date with future updates, because the key levels are always changing and there's always new scalping opportunities within this market every single day, right? So we're going to keep the main focus on SPY, and we're also going to be going over a couple stocks that I'm watching, including retail such as Macy's and Kohl's, and also Meta stock. So first things first, let's get straight into it. So in terms of the SPY, I want you to understand we are at a key critical make it or break it level on the SPY. What is this key critical make it or break it level that I'm talking about? This is going to be our level. We're going to call it this previous closing price of September 16th. So what I want you to understand about the SPY is the SPY just gapped down, and it cracked that key support once it gapped down. So you can see we had a lot of support here at this $390 level to $388.50. A lot of support with some nice short-term micro upside potential. And in terms of the SPY, when it's known for cracking that support level and turning it into a resistance level, it is known for quickly selling off to $373. In terms of where the SPY has bottomed at, the SPY has bottomed at 382. So this is what I want you to be aware of heading into tomorrow. Right now, SPY is bottoming at 382. In terms of where is it known for normally bottoming when it cracks that key 390 level? Well, it's normally known for bottoming in the 370s, right? So that's one thing I want you to be aware of. Now, there's been some gaps that are waiting to fill below. You can see there's a gap to fill below here at 377, and there was a gap to fill here at 381.95. SPY has basically filled this gap at 381.95. And ever since it filled that gap, it's been reacting as a support level for 2 days straight now, and it's been bottoming at that key level. And it's been trying to rocket back up to fill the gap. So when you see these stocks, when you see SPY crack these key support levels, at some point, it's going to want to retrace back to the previous support. And then what you need to do from there is you need to identify, is it going to react as a resistance level or react as a support level? So basically, SPY cracked through this key level, which is going to be $390.12. It ended up bottoming at 382. Normally, it's known for bottoming towards 373 to 370 at a lower support zone. Right now, it had a double bottom towards that 382 gap close reversal level zone, and it is rocketing up to fill the gap at $390.12. So it's very normal to see this reaction where SPY, cracks through, blows through a support level, and then it retraces back up to that previous support level. So this is what I want you to understand. This is our make it or break it level that is going to set the tone for this week, right? This is what I want you to be aware of. There's gaps to fill above on SPY, and there's gaps to fill below on SPY. We have a gap to fill below at 377.91. We have a gap to fill above right here at 406, right? In terms of overall trend direction, $390.12 is your key make it or break it level. If that reacts as a support level, the SPY is going to flip overall bullish, and within time, it's going to take some time, like days, start to climb back up, recover, and start to fill a gap. Now, if 390 reacts as a resistance level, if you ever see that level react as a resistance, it's going to be micro bearish. If you ever see it react to support, it's going to be micro bullish. Right now, I want you to think of as like we're in some sort of middle channel. The bears gapped it down, and we crack support. Now it's rocketing back up to previous support. If the previous support reacts as a resistance level, SPY will continue to be bearish overall. If the support level breaks out and reacts as a support level, you will start to see SPY react overall bullish and be on track for a breakout move to about $400. Of course, to get to 400, it would have to break out to 396 first, right? So that's your key make it or break it level. And that's just what I want you to understand. I want you to think of this as, SPY crack support. It's retracing back to support. So if it does react as a resistance, the overall trend is still bearish. If it breaks above, reacts to support, then we flip bullish, right? So that's just what I want you to be aware of heading into this week, is that 390.12 gap fill level. Now, what are my initial impressions? So my initial impressions are We literally just filled the gap in extended hours. The gap was at $390.12. It got to $390.30, and it's been selling off ever since. So it's having a gap close reversal. So what I want you to be aware of heading into tomorrow are these two key levels. That $390 level to $390.30. And also I want you to be aware of the closing price of today, $388 and $388.55, right? So this is going to be our key make it or break it zone. Preferably in terms of puts, you'd want to be getting it at 390. For SPY to flip super bearish tomorrow, you need to see a crack. It needs to crack this 388.30. It needs to crack 388.30, react as a resistance. If that occurs, we will see a nice pullback overall to 387 to 386.80. There's a lot of support at this 387.20. You got a nice dragonfly doji here. You got a lot of support as well at this 386.80. That'd be the zone in terms of profit taking, right? So our key make it break it levels heading into tomorrow is $390.12 and $388.55. If that zone reacts as a resistance, it's bearish. It's going to start to drop a little bit. If that zone reacts as support, and if it breaks above that 390.30, then you will see a very bullish move tomorrow, very bullish overall move to that next resistance level of about 393.50 to 395.50, right? So that's our make it or break it zone. I gave you the key make it or break it zone. I told you what to look for and what to be aware of. In terms of one theory that I do want to throw at you right now is it could be something like this. SPY filled the gap right here. It formed a nice green bullish candlestick with a strong close. Next day, it dropped a little bit. Right now, it is it is attempting to drop a little bit since it filled that gap. But you can see it dropped a little bit the next day, and then it skyrocketed. So that's one possibility, because we are seeing a very similar pattern where SPY filled this gap right here, and it forms this green bullish candlestick just like it did right here when it filled the gap. Next day, it dropped a little bit, and then it recovered and blasted off through the highs. So if you are someone who is bullish, I want you to be aware of that. I do want you to be aware of that potential theory. But for us to flip super bullish and for that to really work heading into tomorrow, if the SPY closes strong, if it closes above 390s, if it closes strong, we will see continuation. So, if you see this reacting bullish and closing strong into the close, and that theory played out where, it sold off, it was down, but then it went red to green and it's starting to close strong, it's going to be not only a call day, but it's going to be like a call week where it can really start uptrending this week to 397 to 400, right? So that's just one theory of like pattern recognition and history tending to repeat itself that I want to bring awareness to, because it's a very similar pattern. So I do want to bring awareness to that. And then in terms of bearish theory, for this to remain bearish, it needs to have a red day tomorrow, and it needs to stay red tomorrow. If it has another green day tomorrow and it closes above 390, it's likely going to be an overall bullish play into the week. If we, turn this 390 into resistance, it closes under 388.55, it looks bearish, then we will see a continued drop, right? So just understand we're at key make it or break it levels. A big move is about to occur. A big move is occurring. A big move is occurring. It's going to be extremely volatile. We're at make it or break it. You know the possibilities. These are the two possibilities. In terms of short term, these are the two possibilities. It breaks above 390. You see that happens, reacting bullish. Then it's going to blast off very, very quickly to 393 to 396. The second possibility is it tops out at 390. It starts the downtrend. It turns 388.55 into resistance and never goes back to green. It just overall stays red and closes weak. Then we will be on track for a move down to about 386, which is where we're likely to see a bounce. So one theory and one thing I want to bring awareness to, let's say that thing worked where it started off red, it was looking bearish, and then it flipped bullish and it went back to green. Well, what would be one of the key levels heading into tomorrow where it would be an ideal level where we can see a bounce? What would be an potential level where we could see a bounce on the SPY if that were to happen, right? So in terms of key overall levels that I would say, this is what I want to bring aware of. If that were to occur, and if we were to see a bounce tomorrow, it's likely going to be, I would say, at 385 to 386, in between that zone, around 385 to 386. The reason why I say that is that's previous resistance with nice downside potential to lower 380s. We just had a breakout above that. So it's likely going to bounce. It's likely going to have a small bounce off of that 385 to 386 zone. And another way to calculate that in terms of that pattern recognition, if that were to repeat itself, take the closing price right here. SPY closed at $397.78. We'll round it to 398. And then on this day, it dropped to 394. So it dropped 4 points from yesterday's highs, and then it ended up skyrocketing. So one way to kind of get a theory on that is to take 4 points off of today's highs. So off of today's close, which was, 388.55, 4 points, 384.55. And then another way to make it even better is to look at the previous resistance levels. And you could see your previous resistance levels were really at this, this is what I like to see, this 385. They're really at this 385. So if I were to say anything, look for a potential dip buying opportunity. If you are bullish and it looks bullish and you see it reacting as support at 385. And then in terms of being bearish and then in terms of micro put options, look for $390 in a crack below 388.55 in terms of scalping. So those are my theories, and that's what I would focus on. I would focus on in terms of scalping. This is initially look for puts if you see resistance forming at 390 and look for a 388.55 breakdown. And then in terms of calls, I would potentially look into 385. So that's how I came up with the theory, and that's what I want you to focus on, right? Just be aware this was key support with big upside potential. SPY cracked that key support. It did not bottom in the 370, so it still hasn't hit those 370s like it previously has done. It bottomed at a higher support level, and there was a gap to fill below at $382. It filled the gap right here in extended hours, and it had a gap close reversal in the pre-market today. In the pre-market, it is phenomenal on how well this trading strategy can work. You could see the gap was right here at 381.95. It had the reversal in the pre-market. Look at the bullish 30-minute candle on the SPY. Look at the bullish 30-minute wick at the gap. It was rocketing ever since it had its gap close reversal, and now it is back to that previous support with big upside potential. But if it reacts as a resistance, then it's going to be big downside potential. Just be aware though, in terms of like overall, if we bottom at 385 and this goes red to green, super bullish. If we crack below 385 and it reacts as a resistance and it closes red on the day, super bearish. But if we bottom at 385 and it closes above 390, super bullish for the rest of the week. So that's my bullish theories, that's my bearish theories. That's what I want to bring awareness into the SPY. I really think that key analysis that I gave out, if you use it properly and how I spoke of it, it could really help you out. I gave you the scalping analysis, and then I also spoke about the potential swing trades, which are not determined into the close, into the last minutes of market, right? Because we got to see where it's actually closing at. So let's go over some stocks right now. Stocks are looking kind of bullish at the moment, but again, we have to see how this reacts in terms of the SPY. But I mean, in terms of how charts are looking, it's kind of looking bullish. I'm looking at some retail stocks that are looking fairly bullish right now, like Macy's, like Kohl's. These are some stocks that I'm keeping an eye on. They're going to have to maintain above previous resistance and react to support. They have some gaps to fill above. Overall, I would say they are beginning to look a little micro bullish. But again, I focus on a SPY and I trade SPY. These have been some stocks that have been requested by members within Trader Society. But overall, it looks a little micro bullish, but we have to see. One thing I want to bring awareness to as well is Meta stock. So in terms of META, I've been studying, when it has these big micro crashes, it does tend to kind of bottom out and have a nice little short-term reversal on the first green day. Not all the time, but that's just something I do want to bring some awareness to. I'm just going to keep an eye on it because, like I said, in terms of stocks, I'm not really interested. So like I said, top option plays right now are the SPY. Initially in the morning, look for a crack, look for a breakdown under that 388.55 for a quick put scalp, 389 resistance, quick put scalp. That's for the morning and midday. And then in terms of calls, 385 would be my best entry, and that is for the early in the morning to midday. And then in terms of breakouts, if this goes from 385 to 390 tomorrow, if it breaks above 390 and looks really bullish in the middle of the day, that's another opportunity to buy calls for a breakout as well. So whenever the support plays. And then in terms of swing trades, if it closes red bearish on the day under 385, I think it's going to be super bearish heading into kind of early rest of week. If we close above 390 tomorrow, especially if it drops to 385, I think it's going to be overall bullish heading into this week. So those are swing trades, and then we went over scalps. That's my overall thoughts. That's my over analysis on the SPY. There's going to be very important updates as always within the pre-market, within the midday as well, within Trader Society. So if you do want to be a part of Trader Society, it's going to be the first link down below in the description. Everything that's included within Trader Society is explained in the first link down below in the description, right? So you get access to live trading with us every single day. You get access to the chat room, to the Discord server, where we're solely dedicated to mastering the SPY and trading options on the SPY. You get access to the networking opportunities, direct messages between you and I and the members within the Discord program. And there's a lot more to it. The video lesson library that will teach you all of the unique gap trading strategies that I've created, teach you how to read price action, how to trade options both ways, long and short, calls and puts. Also teach you risk management, position sizing, psychology, and mindset to trading. I'm telling you, I am really adapting to a conservative approach of options. My daily goal is really 2%. Like I always tell you guys, I want to make 2% on average a day, but I do it in a very conservative way where I'm not taking big position sizes and I'm taking a little bit extra scalps, cutting losses super quick and taking profits quick as well. But the number one focus is to just keep losses small and to compound the gains. That's my number one focus, just developing and creating a strategy where it is impossible, as long as I follow my rules and as long as I stay disciplined, to lose big, right? And even if I break my rules or if I'm on an off day, I'm not going to lose big as well. I understand exactly the proper position sizes to take, the right contracts to be purchasing, and the right trades to be taking, right? So as long as I stick to what it is that I'm doing, it's going to be the most conservative approach with options that can exponentially grow your account within 1 year of consistency with an average 2% return trading. So obviously a 2% return on your account daily is not conservative, and that's amazing if you can consistently do it. But my focus is achieving that with a conservative approach of the options I select with well-balanced expirations and strike prices, and also with position sizes, sizing in like 10% of my account or 20% of my account per trade, right? So if you do want to be a part of that, that's going to be the first link within the description. All the information is explained there. In terms of some of the recaps and some of the quick analysis, so I had like 6 or 7 scalps today. All were nice wins. I was going with September 21st expirations, so the ones that expire in 2 days. I'm starting to experiment as my account has grown bigger. I'm starting to experiment with something a little bit more safer and well balanced. So in terms of my style of scalping, I like perfect timing and perfect entries. That's what I like doing. So same day expirations are perfect for it. But I'm trying to mix more of a balance. So I'm just experimenting with 1 to 2 day expirations, and those do cost more. And I am taking, obviously bigger position sizes than I would be on these versus the same day expiration, because the contracts are going to be less volatile. They're not going to move as much. So I'm just trying to experiment and find other ways to have a more balanced approach. But I do like same day expirations as long as you know what you're doing. As long as you're not sizing big, you're keeping it at like ideally 10% of your account. And as long as you're not holding them for very long, right? The goal and the purpose of this is to keep losses very, very small and to compound your trades and to have a decent win rate, ideally above 60%. Mine right now is currently slightly above 70%. But yeah, that's one tweak that I've been, just experimenting with and just trying with my trading. I can say literally every single trade that I've been making is literally meant to be a same day expiration. So another thing I can do is if I wanted to, I can just size in less and trade same day expirations, but I want to find a good balance as well. So that's just something I'm more experiencing with, just to kind of see and get a feel for new things and new contract stuff like that. But in terms of like some trades that I ended up making today, one of the nice trades I had was right here. I bought calls at 2:57 p.m. And the reason why I bought calls was I specifically remember sometime this year, SPY had the same exact pattern on the 30-minute chart. If you look at the overall chart, SPY filled the gap at 382, which is very bullish. It had a gap close reversal in the pre-market, and then it started rocketing back up. The chart history shows in terms of same day, this can get to as high as $388, just by looking at what it did on Friday, right? Bottom similar price. So that's one thing to be aware of in terms of history repeating itself, and it did close strong on Friday. And then just pattern recognition. Pattern recognition. Like I said, I specifically remember this pattern similar this year on the 30-minute chart, where the chart looked like this. You had these 3 slanted red candles, and you see right here, you have these 3 slanted candles. And then on the 4th 30-minute candle, SPY blast off. And then on the 4th 30-minute candle, SPY blast off. And then it continues with that uptrend. Another thing that I was bringing awareness to is overall, SPY was pretty bullish in terms of like 30-minute candles. You can see right here, this is your resistance right around here, right around here. It had its breakout and it bottomed at previous resistance, reacted as support, and then it continued to break out. And then it formed higher support with this 3 slanted candle, continued to break out. So the theory was there was going to be some sort of power hour breakout trade, and a key time for calls and a key time to really pay attention to it SPY is at 3 p.m. That's when the volume comes in towards that 3 p.m. time frame. And I can tell you this, man, what I really have noticed with my trading that has helped me out a lot is skipping the morning. I really, I really used to love trading in the morning, but then I realized it's extremely volatile, which means it's extremely risky. And I do love volatility and I do love taking risks. You know, you have to take risks to make money. But one of the reasons why I dislike the volatility in the morning is I like to think of it as kind of like Russian roulette. There's lack of development in the history, and my trading and my strategy relies on history repeating itself. So if I just trade right out the gate, it has to have like a strong confirmation of something I'm seeing on the daily or something I'm seeing on extended hours, which doesn't occur all the time in terms of key levels and what I'm looking for. So for a lot of the times, it could be just a random game of guessing. I really have noticed a big shift in terms of my progress and success with the SPY. I would say, and I would recommend, especially like for beginners, to skip the morning. Due to the high volatility, it's going to create bigger losses. Due to lack of development within the chart, there's lack of direction. There's a lot of flip-flops that goes on in the morning. You see a lot of reversals at 10 a.m., sometimes 10:30 a.m., 11 a.m., but there's just lack. That's the problem. There's lack of confirmation. There's lack of history. So one tip I would give you is trade during towards the later of the day, like at 10:30 a.m. past 11 a.m. And then if you're looking for more volatile hours, power hour is going to be extremely volatile. And I personally think you would have more of an edge in a lot of situations of trading during power hour rather than trading during market open, because the volatility is going to be similar in a sense. But you have the chart. The chart for the entire day has developed. So you have a sense in trend directions. You have a sense in key levels for the day. You have a sense in expected moves for the day. You have a sense of the volatility of the price action. Is it going to be choppy? Is it going to be extremely volatile, right? Is it going to be a one-sided over direction? All of that has already developed. So trading during power hour could be a much bigger edge because of the trends that have developed. So that's one thing I want to bring awareness to. But I mean, overall, this is what I was seeing. So I alerted calls literally right here before this closed. And then I took like a quick 3% win. But I sized in kind of decent. So it was a nice little return on my portfolio. In terms of the day, I had like 6 or 7 scalps. And there's 2.47% on the portfolio. But I alerted scalp right here. And then it just went up a little bit. And I sold my calls just in and out, like no stress, just in and out. But that was one of the main reasons. Like I said, that nice reversal confirmation, 3-day slanted, 3-day slanted on the 30-minute, and then it rockets, and then it starts to rocket, right? Also, previous resistance right here, higher support, likely going to take off. These 30-minute candles are really going to help give you a sense of direction for the next 30 minutes. That is something as well that has drastically changed my trading. So like I said, waiting for the middle of the day, skipping the morning, and using 30-minute candles to give you a sense of direction for the next 30-minute candles, right? So those are 2 things and 2 tips I can give you that have drastically improved my trading. So I would write those down if I were you, because that can help you a lot in terms of mastering the SPY. But yeah. In terms of, like I said, today's overall progress, man, I want to give a big shout out to some members within Trader Society. Very nicely done, man. $3,000 profit. I will say though, at 20% on your account, it sounds too high. You know, you don't want to have volatility that high. So that's one thing I would really be aware of, because if you can make 20% in a day, you can also lose 20% in the day. And in terms of big drawbacks, I really don't want to stomach more than like a 3 to 5% drop in my portfolio on a single day. I don't want to stomach any more than that. In terms of the place that I've gotten to with my account size, I don't want to lose more than that on a single day. Big shout out to Ricky Garcia. He is currently one of the most consistent members who has recently joined Trader Society. Absolutely killing it, man. Nearly $4,000 profit on the day, over 10 times the cost of Trader Society. Big shout out to him, man. He's given out great value and he's very consistent, and he's recently joined Trader Society. So big shout out to him, man. So yeah, just want to give a big shout out to everyone, man, because we are crushing it, man. Keep Learning's been doing very well as well. And I'm telling you, man, if you are looking to dedicate your time, I'm telling you that one thing that's going to help you a lot with trading is Focus and master one stock, that one thing. And for me, it's SPY. So SPY, SPX, that's what I would recommend. It has the highest volatility in option contracts. It's the most consistent with its volatility. This is something in terms of history tending to repeat itself, in terms of trend recognition, in terms of price action, in terms of stability. This is highly predictable once you get to know it. Once you get to know the SPY and master that one thing, whether it's SPY or whether it's another stock, I'm telling you that's the best thing you could do is master one thing. And in terms of mastery, I would focus on the SPY. It is highly predictable once you get to learn and know it. It is extremely volatile. The contracts print like crazy. You could do SPY or you can do SPX. And it has the liquidity. It has the liquidity. It has the volume. You just have to ask yourself at the end of the day, what are the wealthier traders trading, right? Do you think wealthy people are sitting here trading penny stocks, trading small caps? I think that could be a great avenue to make a couple $1 million a year. But in terms of like dedicating your life to true wealth, to one thing, I personally think the SPY is the best route to go with options trading. If you are doing it right, so like if you're a beginner, you're going with like a 1 to 2 day expiration, you're keeping your strike prices at the money, you're scalping, getting in, getting out very, very quickly, not aiming for big wins, not holding for a long period of time. The way we prevent big losses is by going with the right strike price at the money, is by going with the right expiration. If you are highly skilled in advance, you can go with same day expirations. Just understand perfect timing, perfect entries. Do not hold those very long and do not size in big on those. You should be doing 10% max. If you're very risky, do 20%. But for those of you who are more beginner or you want more balanced, in a strategy, or maybe your account hit a certain place or you want more balance, that's what you're looking for. 1 to 2 day expirations at the money and scalp in and out and just rinse and repeat. I'm telling you, man, a couple good trades a day, just make quick 5, 10% here, 10, 20, 30% there, right? I'm telling you, it's game changing. And just consistently compounding your account. I'm telling you, pull out a compound interest calculator, type in 2%, and you watch how fast that 2% compounded with your current account balance is going to change your life within the next couple of years of that consistency, right? It's pretty crazy. I think if you make a 2% return daily, not including the weekends, and you start with 20K, I'm pretty sure it turns into 3.5 million the first year. And if you could do that for 2 years, I'm telling you, all you need in this market with SPY is 1 year of consistency. 1 good year of consistency. That's all you need. 1 good year of consistency with the SPY compounded to really change your life. And that's what has changed my life, man. It's the SPY. And I'm telling you, man, when I started Trader Society, I was into the SPY. I really was. I wasn't all in on it in terms of like, I wasn't sold on the idea of just like mastering one stock. I was sold on the idea of mastering options. So like I started off trading small caps and I dedicated all my time to mastering a strategy on small caps where I would short them and it was working well. But then I switched to options because that's what all the wealthy people are into. And then from there, I was like, I'm going to master options. So I started doing well, trading a bunch of different stocks. But then I realized the best way to really do it is to just master the SPY because it's always there. The opportunities are always there every single day. I'm telling you, if you get to learn the price action of the SPY, if you put all your time into mastering that one thing and you optimize for the right thing like the SPY, because it has the liquidity, it has the predictability, it has the moves we're looking for, it's stable, this would be the one to go. And I'm telling you, if it wasn't for Trader Society, it probably would have took me a very long time to figure that out and to also know what I know now, because there's a lot of great people within Trader Society who are sharing what it is that they see in the markets and why it is that they see that. But it's crazy. It's pretty crazy because, I started the year off just focused on mastering options like I've been doing for years now. And in terms of later into the year, I said I'm going all in on SPY, and it's really my group within Trader Society who inspired that. At first, we just had the general chat. We had the team chat. We don't have a lot of servers because we like to keep it very active and we like to focus on the best things. But into the year, we noticed that everyone was just trading on the trading floor. All they were doing was trading SPY. They weren't trading anything else. They were just trading the SPY. So then we realized we should create one floor just for SPY, not for Tesla, not for Apple, just for SPY, because that's what everybody was trading. And then we really began to realize once that floor developed that this is the best thing to be focusing on. And this is what all the wealthier traders are trading. They're all trading the SPY. So you're going to see, man, there's going to be a huge shift into years come, especially, when Gen Z gets older. I'm telling you, the volume on SPY options, it's like 4+ million a day now, I'm pretty sure. In terms of, Gen Z and all that, like, In 2030, it's going to be insane, man. You're going to see there's going to be a major shift from people who are starting with small accounts that are trading penny stocks and small caps. They're all going to be moving over to trading options on SPY. And initially, and if they don't have the right guidance, and especially initially, they're going to lose all their money. But if they get the right mentor, or if they get the right education, or if they give this a chance and have the right mindset and really work and push towards it, you're going to see it's going to stay like that. Everyone's going to be trading options, and they're all going to be trading the SPY. That's what this market is really going to turn into, is a bunch of option traders with the SPY. And this is still very early on. This is extremely still very, I'm telling you, it's going to be so much bigger by 2030. So if you want to be ahead of the crowd, if you want to get ahead of everybody, if you want to master that one thing, I'm telling you, this is all I'm doing. I put all my time and focus into mastering the SPY. Nothing really else. If you have questions about stocks and stuff like that, I can give you my analysis, and it works with the strategy, not only to work for SPY, but it works for other stuff. But like I said, my number one focus is compounding my account, mastering the SPY, and doing it in a way where it's conservative. So it's not going to pay off in a couple months, but it's going to change lives in a year. So if you give it 1 year of consistency, and I'm telling you, once you get to 6 figures, 7 figures, you're really going to start to want more of a balance and take less risk as you get, more money, and then use that money into other avenues. And you're going to start want more of a well-balanced approach as well. But yeah, I'm telling you, it's like once you have it, you have it. It's like you can have a more stability, more conservative approach. And I really want to teach traders that, to not make it the wrong way by just going all in and just trying to quickly flip an account, a couple thousand into 6 figures. You can do it with options. You can do that within a couple days or within a week. You can do that very, very quickly with the right options, with the right strategies. It's not stable. It's not reliable. Most people don't change and go conservative once they turn a small amount of money to a big amount of money. They typically just do the same thing over and over again until the account blows up, right? If you're aiming for big wins, you're also aiming for big drawbacks. That's the problem with the big wins. Also, problem with big wins is you're giving back a lot of profit when you hold in your wrong and don't take the profit, right? So I'm really focused on being known as that SPY trader who can help assist people a conservative way and change their life within 1 year or within a couple years, right? I mean, a lot of people go to school, and they get like an average salary, if they're even lucky to get a job, just 4 years after the degree, right? This is something where it's truly worth dedicating your life towards, because, the wealth that SPY can generate with 1 year of consistently compounding an account is life-changing. And from there, you can be literally set. So, yeah, that's Trader Society in a nutshell. We are 100% focused on trading the SPY. If you want to grow and learn together with us as a team, this is the best time to join. It's going to be the first link down below in the description. I will see you guys tomorrow live at Market Open.